Hello, everybody. It's Adam.
And Eric.
And just to catch you up, I had a telehealth appointment with UC Health, and the doctor there said I fall pretty squarely into seronegative autoimmune encephalitis. So there's a pretty firm diagnosis, and she prescribed rituximab or Rituxan, or the generic I'm taking, which is Ruxience by Pfizer, which is a strong immunosuppressant medication, is considered second-line therapy for autoimmune encephalitis. So that was a huge win for me. Yeah, that basically catches you up on that. I'll be starting that at some point. They screwed up the order, so probably within 3 weeks or so, I'll be starting that. And it's super slow. It takes I get 2 infusions like 2 weeks apart, and then I get an infusion every 6 months for 2 years, basically, if it is effective. So it's pretty spaced out infusions, and then the effect is really kind of gradual. If I have any improvement, it'll be pretty gradual. So that's me.
And conversely, with me, I made a lot of trips to Salt Lake City to see doctors at the University of Utah, and I had my med manager say that I'd be taken care of there, and I had another guy who was getting infusions across from me say University of Utah is the shit, and maybe it is for a lot of things, but it's not for me. So I traveled to University of Utah one time to see a doctor. Then I went back home. Then I traveled back to the University of Utah to be hospitalized. Traveled back home. Traveled back to Salt Lake City to see another doctor. Traveled back home. Had 2 telemed appointments with this doctor, and the entire time he's saying that things fall squarely in the inflammation category, and he's not opposed to prescribing rituximab after seeing if he can get IVIG through. And then I have my 3rd and final appointment with him a few days ago where he said he's not willing to treat me. So I spent the past 5 months of my time climbing up the University of Utah health system to just be shat out the top. So that sucks. And that was a huge blow because I thought that appointment was going to be an easy one. His doctor and my doctor have been in conversation with one another, so I assumed that what he was getting, I was going to get. I mean, it kind of makes sense. What would make more sense, actually, is if he got something, a medication. There's many medications that are indicated for autoimmune diseases, right? You got rituximab, cyclophosphamide, a bunch of other ones. They get more experimental the further you go on. It would make more sense if one of us is put on rituximab, like Adam, and another one was put on cyclophosphamide or another drug. So you can see which one sticks, because our response to therapy has been the same thus far. So now in the appointment, he saw I was scheduled with another neurologist in Seattle, and it was from way back. I had scheduled from way back. Just as one of the many neurologists I scheduled with, to kind of shotgun things and hope I hit gold somewhere. And he suggested I see him, and yeah, so
convenient.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
The doctor you're scheduled with. Oh yeah, that's perfect. See that guy.
Right, see that guy. He's like, there's nothing special. Like he was Googling the physician in the appointment. Like, oh, he might see things from more of a neurodegenerative perspective, but it's not a bad thing. So why don't you just go see him? And I pushed him from all sorts of angles, and he just didn't want to put me on rituximab because it suppresses the immune system, which is the entire point of rituximab. The entire point of why it'd be indicated in my situation is because it suppresses the immune system.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shocker because he that doctor and my doctor, sorry about disease, were in communication with one another and know each other. So we thought it was going to be I get rituximab, Eric gets rituximab, and we'll be high-fiving in the infusion center. But in reality, it was I get rituximab, Eric gets chat out again. So now he has to go through either one of the docs I saw. He won't be seeing my doc necessarily, but he would have to go through the UC Health system or see this other doc at UW,
Yeah.
or there's possibly an opportunity elsewhere that he could take advantage of. But it's just frustrating because now
Because the guy spent so much time traveling back and forth between there, and then I was hospitalized there, and he has nothing to offer. And doctors act on a whim. Because he had said in previous appointments explicitly, without me saying anything, that Retux was not off the table by any means.
it's like, why would he
And
say
then-
that if he's
And
just gonna say
why
no
have
later?
any appointments with me? Because he had all the information.
Well, he was baiting you.
Because I was when I was hospitalized, I had all my labs done. All of them. So he knew that all the information from the get go, and he was saying, "Oh, it's inflammation, and it's not a hard no on rituximab. Let's just do genetic testing, and then we can move forward before we move on to the big guns." And then he just drops me like a hot bag of rocks. So doctors just fucking suck, dude. And when they're scared, he was a little weenie. He was scared. He didn't want to touch a case that was hard. He said himself that you're not my easiest case of the day. I'll tell you that much.
The doctor is prescribing me medication, like wears pants and I think has balls, even though she's a she. But because she was very much like, well, you've been responding to immunosuppressive therapies. Let's just move you on to the next one because you've already given IVIG a try. Let's just do rituximab. Like, I didn't even have to prompt her. That's what I was hoping for in the appointment, was a rituximab, but I didn't say anything about it. She was the first one to talk about it. So she's just confident in her arena, and Eric's doctor is obviously just a weenie.
I mean, he was wringing his hands and wringing his arms the entire appointment. He was really uncomfortable. And
yeah, so our paths are kind of diverging a little bit because now I'm going to start on medication at some point soon.
And a lot to be traveling.
And it's hard because when you go get an appointment and you're hoping for rituximab, you also have to have a lab draws to make sure you don't have latent diseases that could be rekindled by a suppressed immune system. And so you have to have blood work done. If you have to have blood work done, that means you go to an appointment, have blood work done, and then you have a follow-up appointment. And that follow-up appointment can be a ways out. So it just prolongs things a lot for poor Eric.
It's ridiculous. I'm tripping balls and my brain feels like it's on fire all the time. And it's just misery. It's just every day. Just absolute misery.
Yep.
I hate it. I hate it so much. This disease is the worst. I told Adam, I was like, I would trade a leg to get cancer instead of this disease. So I would rather have cancer and miss one leg than have this disease any longer. I would hit that. If that was a button, I would hit it right now. This disease is so fucking terrible. And it's just terrible trying to find people to care for you. It's been the problem the entire time, is trying to find somebody who gives a shit. And right when I thought I had someone who gave a shit, he just like fed into my medical trauma by tell me to fuck off. Fucking hate doctors. Hate them. They're so on a whim. It's like whatever they're feeling that day, they'll go with. It's not like they have a plan. It's like if he was feeling his oats that day, he'd probably be like, sure, let's prescribe rituximab. But he was feeling a little meepish, so he decided not to, despite against his previous statements.
Yeah, and it's really tough when it's really painful, and it's like it's really painful. So then it's like he's basically saying, sorry, you're going to have to hurt for an unknown amount of months.
And it's not like it's fucking stupid, because it's not like I'm not going to get treatment from somebody at some point eventually. It's just that it's not going to be him. So he's just offloading the burden onto somebody else because he's scared of litigation or something. I should have asked him, like, how many 27-year-olds have you put on rituximab and then have died from rituximab? I'd wager 0.
Well, that was one thing my doctor said. It was like, you're otherwise a very healthy individual. Like, you're a fine,
young man.
A fine,
What did you say?
Not suspect, but whatever. Subject for rituximab, because it's more dangerous when you're old or you're weak or you're already sick or you're already on immunosuppressants or anything like that. But when you're young and healthy, and we've done all the labs to prove that, it lowers the risk substantially, and we've tested for latent illnesses that could be rekindled, like I talked about. So
in circles there.
Okay. Well,
anyway,
if we want to complain some more, go ahead. Otherwise, I'll just kind of stop it.
Nah.
And it sucks a lot. It's really painful. It's like really, really painful. I don't think people quite understand how painful it is. So I'm just gonna say it one more time. It's really, really, really painful.
And I thought I was done with the traveling because I've done so much of traveling. And traveling with this disease is the worst because you get like sensory overload when I'm walking down the airport terminal, and I can't be entertained by anything or distracted by anything. So if I have 6 hours to kill before and then 12 hours to kill after my appointment, I have to I don't know what to do. There's just nothing to do. I hate it. Yeah.
Okay.
Disease sucks, and there's no like hub where you could find a doctor who helps treat autoimmune encephalitis. It's like that was the last doctor I saw, and he gave me the boot.
I just don't get it because I got prescribed Rituxan, and then he didn't, even though he supposedly was in close contact with my doctor, and he knew that I was prescribed it. Why did he not? Like, the real question is why? Was it actually because he's just being a weenie?
But also, like, things like we have pretty much identical labs. Like his labs are a little bit more abnormal, but they're the same category. And his doctor was able to get him a PET scan in like 2 days. And my doctor just said like they didn't even go all the way through with the appeals and stuff. They just gave up and said that they're not doing a PET scan. So,
okay.
I'm just tired of fucking incompetence, dude. Sick of it.
Yeah, so it's annoying having to do kind of a fresh start somewhere.
Yeah, to start over. I spent almost half a year working my way through the University of Utah health system. Half a year. And so now he's like, go restart at a different university. It's like, what the fuck is that going to do? You know? It's like this next guy's going to have a brilliant idea. I've had all my labs done already. I've had 2 attendings and a bunch of other MDs look at it, and I've had him look at it, and I've had Dr. Piquet look at it. What the fuck does he expect this new guy to have as an idea? Yeah. It's autoimmune encephalitis, like full stop. It's like what do you fucking expect this guy's gonna pull? Oh, you have a fungal disease of the brain that's eating away at your. It's like, what the fuck? Shut the fuck up. So I had to go traveling again. I was really hoping I wouldn't have to go traveling again because I hate traveling. So I'll have to travel to Seattle. I'll have to travel to Colorado. I might have to travel to Indiana.
Yeah. Traveling and having to retell a story and get labs and do follow-ups and all that. Since it really slowed things down by a lot.
Yeah.
For him.
So good for Adam. I mean, good. He's got rituximab. Great.
It'll be great if I get a great response to it, and then I can go, yahoo! Like, give something to look forward to.
Yeah, but yes, that'd be great. But also, this idea that rituximab is a catch-all is foolhardy.
Yeah, but you can't think that far ahead.
Yeah. Well, let's hope you have a good response to it.
Why can't we just leave it at that instead of like already worrying about it and not having a good response or not having a a good response.
Sure.
It's kind of aggravating because I've already worked to get to this point to get Rituxan, and I get it, and everyone's like, well, you might not respond to it. It's kind of annoying.
You're starting to whisper.
I can hear it. It's right here. They can hear me.
All right, that's it. Adam got Rituxan. I got told to fuck off, and we'll be traveling around the country looking for a doctor who gives a shit. We're hoping Adam gets a response to rituximab.
I mean, what? Yeah, he might be seen by, like, I had a doctor who did all my workup, and then Piquet saw me for like 5 minutes. The doctor that prescribed me Rituxan. So the doctor below her is the one that he's scheduled with. So, you know, it's entirely possible to be like, oh yeah, sure, we'll just get in the same thing. But also, I don't know how much the twin thing is weirding people out. I don't know if
that does weird people out.
You know, I was viewed pretty much as an individual patient at University of Colorado. But she knows we're twins. She knows about you, so I don't know what her thought is of putting both of us on the therapies or what. But you'll probably find out because you're probably going to go next month.
Yeah, and like a month and a half.
Okay.
In the meantime, I'll just sit with my dick in my hands. Adam's hovering over the stop button. Pray to God you never get this disease. It's terrible.
All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. Get you in the next one, hopefully with a little bit better news for Eric. And big W for me. Check you later.